Hi there, and welcome to the Inbetweeners checkup. I am fortunate enough to be speaking with Rachelle this morning. I actually found her details on a Facebook COVID-19 support page where she was offering something that I thought was right up my alley. So I jumped on board, and sure enough, I've been enjoying sort of the last month. Despite being in lockdown, and I brought Rachelle on the show so she can share what she's been up to and hopefully help a few more people out there. Over to you, Rachelle.
Hi, Misha. Hi, thank you.
So can you tell me, I guess, what it was that, actually, sorry, can you tell those people out there a little bit about yourself, and I guess what you've been up to over the last little bit?
Sure. So I've been creating the last probably year or so, I've been creating a 30-day positive mindset challenge, which I've just put out and Mate has been doing for the last month. So it's basically to help people find their happy place, in effect, just give them the tools and the things that they need to help them pull them out of that down mindset and help them just focus on the positive things and help them find more positive things in their life as well. So it's sort of completely flipping them and turning it into a positive mindset and a positive day, and finding all those positive things. Yeah.
We're having a few issues with the connection, but I think we got most of that.
Okay.
And I guess, how did this all come about as such?
Okay, so it started quite a number of years ago when my children were very, very little. I had twin boys and who were very small. They were 8 weeks prem, and then very shortly afterwards, just 18 months afterwards, we had another little boy. So I had 3 little babies in cots and nappies all at the same time, which I was pretty unprepared for, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if anyone's really that prepared for parenthood. We all think we are, but and some people do it better than others, but I was kind of thrown right in the deep end, and it really was a deep end. I was really struggling and drowning there for a while. It's really hard work. So we had a lot of days, as much as it was amazing as well. I love my children and they really are the sunshine in every day. We had a lot of days where I would literally just collapse on my bed in a fit of tears and just say, help, someone help me. How can I do this? And also there was always the question of, like, is this it? Is this all there is for me? You know, isn't there anything else? There must be something else. This just can't be my scenario, my life for now. There must be something better. There must be a way that I can feel better. And I think a lot of us sort of go through these times where we just feel helpless and we just don't know where to turn. We don't know how to pick ourselves up or how to turn things around. And I think we just haven't been taught a few key tools over our lives about how we've taught a lot of things in schools and a lot of things through life, but I don't think we've got enough teaching around how to really pick yourself up out of those really down moments when you're truly struggling and you feel helpless and you don't know how to pull yourself out of it. So out of the moments of real despair and distraught and a lot of tears and a lot of frustration, and there came a sort of a desire to find a way out. And I thought there must be a way. What is it? And there's the started me on a journey, pretty much a 10-year journey of studying all the different ways to get out of those really down times. And I think we all face challenges in all sorts of ways, whether it's with children or with work or with family members. You know, we're constantly facing challenges, and we constantly have those moments of needing that extra help and needing those tools to pick us up. And so I went on a huge journey to learn those tools and find those tools. And I studied a lot of personal development, read a lot of books, studied a lot of programs through people all over the world. And I tried and tested a lot. There's a lot of information out there. I mean, it's 10 years worth of study, but you can simplify it quite well. There's sort of the best of the best. There's some that's a bit wishy-washy and some that really work. And so I spent 10 years really nutting that out and trying and testing and sharing and trying on other people, all those sorts of things, to bring it to something that was actually just really simple and easy, simple, easy tools to use every day. And that's what I've put into this program, is just basically broken down 10 years of research into just more powerful, hard and fast, wonderful rules and tools that we can use and we can apply in every day, and they're really simple and easy to use. So yeah, that's kind awesome. Of been through those challenges. I think sometimes it takes us to be in quite a low place to give us, you know, when we find that strength to pull ourselves out of it when we have the right tools. So yeah.
No, I mean, I've like to be honest, I've got a bunch of sort of self-help books sitting on my bookshelf that are sort of collecting dust with the intention. I'm going to get around to looking at those sometime. But what I liked about this program is I could jump in. It was a short sort of passage. I could do that quickly by audio, especially with the wee one running around, and take something on board straight away. So, for example, I mean, and some of the stuff, I've heard before, but it's just nice to have it sort of all packaged and sort of palatable in these times. I mean, simply the smiling and the back straight and not looking down. I mean, these are simple things that we can just incorporate straight away. It doesn't take a lot of training and practice, and it can really make a difference in people's lives. Yeah,
it really does. Yeah. It really changes the chemistry. They just change the chemistry of your body, and they change your mindset, because when things are tough, we are so focused on the challenges that we face that we find it hard to flip out of that and feel positive or think positively. So I think it's just giving you those tools just to flip from the negative thoughts into the positive, and that just starts a whole stream of positive things happening, and you're attracting more positive things happening in your day. So it's quite huge. It's very powerful. Yeah,
I like to think of it as basically building good habits and getting rid of the old.
Exactly.
I must admit, I'm a bit of a sweet tooth. I like my chocolate and my cake, but like, it was interesting, sort of 60 different names for sugar. Is like, to be honest, I knew a few of them, but not that many. And you think about, we get into those bad habits and we can have those cravings and such like, and it can just, you're not necessarily, gorging yourself on a whole lot of sugar at any one time, but that process over a period of time can have all sorts of effects on your health and general behavior and demeanor. I can remember, like, I'd see kids on my way to work, and they'd sort of be walking along the street, and they'd have like a pie and a can of V for breakfast. And I was just like, how can they possibly focus in a classroom when they're just hyped up on sugar?
That's right. That's right. And those sugars pick you up and then they drop you down. That's probably the most detrimental point. So lots of years ago, when people were wondering if sugar wasn't so good for you, the sugar companies were a little bit manipulative, and they labeled fat as bad and sugar as fine, which was a little bit misleading. And so people have been okay with eating sugar for lots and lots of years. And food manufacturers have snuck sugar into every type of food. Our sauces and our breads and things that you wouldn't think are sugary foods are all quite heavily laden with sugar. So without realizing it, we actually eat a lot of sugar throughout the day, and sugar has this nasty way of addicting you and wanting you to have more of it, and it picks you up and makes you feel good for a while, and then it just completely drops you down, and you feel low, you have lack of energy, and you feel moody, and you feel depressed, you feel down after having sugar. And so then you reach obviously for more sugar because it picks you up again. So it's a vicious cycle, but it's really detrimental to our mental health, I guess, our mindset. It's really detrimental to our mindset and to how we feel each day. So cutting out, I mean, obviously the key ones like cans of fizzy drink and even fruit juice. There's actually more sugar in apple juice than there is in Coke. And although it's a natural sugar, which is, I mean, they're better, natural sugars and fruits are good. The problem is that in a can of apple juice or a bottle of apple juice, they contain the juice of lots and lots and lots of apples, many more apples than we would eat. We would normally eat one apple. And so we're just getting this massive hit of sugar that our bodies aren't designed, to tolerate. Our bodies are designed to eat a piece of fruit at a time, not a whole lot. So that also spikes us. So there's sugar hidden in lots of things, and I think if we can start by cutting out the most obvious ones, and then having a really close look at other foods we're eating, even cereals. Cereals are laden with sugar, and that is therefore starting our day on that roller coaster of eating a lot of sugar and then craving a lot of sugar. So there's a lot that we can do, pretty simple tools that we can use there to cut sugar down and improve our mood in a huge way.
Yeah, that's good. And I guess, I mean, if you look at sort of general health, I mean, one of the other things that I kind of resonated with me was the exercise piece, and you sort of talk about, we were made to move. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was pretty regularly going up the mountains. That was kind of my exercise. I like being outdoors, getting amongst nature. You meet a few interesting people along the way, but when the little one sort of came along, that kind of whole opportunity to get away for a bit sort of went out the window, and it's kind of been trying to find those small time periods where I can, I guess, spend a bit of time being out. Well, I mean, look, the little one's active, and I'm constantly running around for her, but it's not quite the same. And I guess for me, I enjoy dancing, so it's something that, to be fair, I can do for 10 minutes here and there, and the little one can get involved as well.
Yes,
she
they love
can
it.
teach me a few moves, and I can teach her. So
Yeah.
I mean, all round, that's great. It's good for the health. I enjoy it, and it's something that I can again incorporate daily into a schedule that sometimes can be a little bit less predictable these days.
Yes, definitely. And I think we're quite time poor these days. We don't have a lot of time, and so as much as I mean, we all get told through all different parts of life how important exercise is, but it's mainly about finding an exercise that suits you and that you enjoy doing. You don't very often stick in the exercise for very long when it's a real really hard work to get there and to do it. So I think it's finding something that you enjoy, but also a great way to start if you don't have much time is just doing the short, sharp, intensive workouts. So that can be anything from 4 to 10 minutes, and that will get your heart rate, going, and also a bit of resistance to get for your muscles, and that will helps burn fat, but it also switches on your body and your brain in every way for the day. So it switches on your metabolism, it gets the endorphins flowing, which are feel-good chemicals that your brain produces when your heart rate gets going, and it just benefits you in every way. And so there's quite a lot of little videos on the internet for short intensive workouts, and even a Tabata, which is Japanese form of workout, which is a 4-minute workout. So a Tabata is when you do 20 seconds exercise and 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds exercise, 10 seconds rest, and you repeat that for 4 minutes, but it's the same exercise over and over again. So you can do something cardio, or you can do press-ups, or choose any kind of exercise and repeat it. So that's a really great way of getting your heart rate going and increasing your strength and all sorts of things. You've just got to be careful that when you start that, you don't go too hard too fast and cause an injury. You've got to monitor yourself, but Tabata's another great one. So if you can fit, it's only 5 to 10 minutes in your day and do it pretty much every day, sort of 5 or 6 days a week, then that is a great way to start if you don't have much time. Yeah. Very good.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for that. I will look further into it. Now, I guess, look, we're in an interesting times at the moment. A lot of people now finding themselves out of work, including myself. And you sort of talk about, finding a career path you love. Do you think this is maybe a good time for people to sort of reassess the work that they have been doing and the work they could be doing in the future? Not only because I guess the workplace will be changing, but in terms of getting fulfillment from our daily activity.
Yes, and I think it's huge because we all sort of grew up and are told to, look, just go and earn some money, get a job, doesn't matter what it is, just go and earn some money. And if it's a career that has a good label with it, or the better, or and I think we weren't sort of taught to follow our heart and do something we really, really love, and some people were lucky enough to fall into something that they love, which is great, and they have, and others have or else people have done something they love, and then they end up losing the love for it for whatever reason. That's quite popular, quite a common thing to happen too. So I think it's an amazing time to stop and think about what you really want to do, what really makes your heart sing. You know, what is it that will get you to jump out of bed every morning and be excited for the day? And that's the kind of future you want to have. And there's plenty of opportunities. It's not like there's a limit, although, you know, people say, oh, there's a lack of jobs and things. That's very closed-minded. There's way of thinking. There's plenty of opportunities. If you can find something you love and you focus on it and you put your mind to it, and we talk about this in the program, giving you some tools to help you. You can make it happen. You can make anything happen with the right mindset. So I think if you start down, we've got 4 questions in the program, don't we, that in the challenge that we talk about with finding something you love. So sit down and write down all the things you love to do in every area of your life. And that could just be that you enjoy cooking, or it could be things that are completely unrelated to anything you do. Just write down everything you love doing, and have a little bit more of a closer look at that. And then write down all the things that you are good at, your talents. And they can be, it's not necessarily something that you think can directly lead to a job. Just really let your mind go and think outside the square of all those other little bits and pieces that you're good at. It could just be creating something. You could have a completely unrelated job at the moment, but it could be thinking about something that you enjoy creating, or something you enjoy doing, or communicating, or whatever. And then think about how you can help other people with what you're doing. And this is a huge thing. You know, how can we help each other? How can we improve each other's lives? And this is a big thing going forward, because you get a lot of fulfillment and satisfaction out of helping others. It's huge. We talk about that in the challenge too. And then the last question is thinking about brainstorming and thinking, how can you make money from what you're doing? So when you put all these different pieces of the puzzle together and sit down with a journal or a notebook or a piece of paper and really think about it and put your mind to it, and see what you can come up with. You can come up with some pretty neat ideas, and you've got to be careful in those moments not to think, oh no, but I couldn't make that happen, I couldn't do that, because those thoughts are going to stop it from happening. You've got to really get into it and think, okay, well, how can I make this happen? What can I do? And that's when you can touch on your intuition and get a little bit of guidance, get some ideas flowing, your creative spark flowing. And as soon as you do this, and as soon as you start asking these questions and focusing on it, it actually stimulates your subconscious mind into finding answers for you. So you start the process of making it happen, which is huge. And I think people perhaps aren't aware of that. They think, oh, I don't know how I would do this. You don't have to know how to do the whole thing yourself, because when you focus on it, you'll attract the people and the resources and the help you need along the way. So that's a huge thing for people to think, you're not alone in what you're wanting to do. You will attract what you need when you focus on it and you try and figure out a way of making it happen, which is huge. Yeah.
Awesome. Like, I've got a friend over in Australia, and I mean, he has a love of music and a love of food, and he's kind of combined those, and he puts on events where basically he'll play music to a group of people and cook them a meal as well, you know, which is
brilliant.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean,
that's
it's
really
quite
cool.
innovative in that sense. And like, obviously at the moment things are a little bit different, but he's still sort of created an online platform for people to indulge in his music. I'm not too sure if he's giving away too many recipe secrets, but you know, it's a good way to work in these times. And again, for myself, I guess, sort of making a transition, is outside of recruitment, which probably isn't going to be a particularly strong field for the foreseeable future, and kind of getting more into supporting people through a transition is something that I've really enjoyed. And kind of like, I guess I'm reaching out and talking to people like yourself and others around their different journeys, so that basically, I guess, we can share people's struggles and people can listen, and some things might resonate with them, others might not, but it's knowing that it's okay to struggle. There are tools available out there to help you, and there are people out there to support you.
Yes. Yeah, that's huge. And I think it's a matter of tapping into your intuition to help you, but then opening yourself up to the tools that can help you, and having a really open mindset to the possibilities that can be ahead of you, instead of thinking about what you don't have or what you're missing at the moment or the past. Focus on what's ahead of you and focus on the future and what is possible, and doors will open. It's quite amazing. Yeah, it's great. It's very exciting. focus on those sorts of things. Yeah.
Yes. And actually, one of the ones also resonated with me is obviously when you talk about intuition, and you've sort of touched on it a couple of times through the conversation already. I mean, it's that guiding voice, I guess, that so often we don't listen to for whatever reason, and I just feel like I wish I could give it a microphone sometimes so it could be heard. But yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And your intuition is there to guide you towards good things and away from bad things or things that don't work for you. So it's really important. And the best way, if you aren't used to listening to your intuition, is just to sit down quietly with a piece of paper or a journal or a notebook and just start asking the questions that you want answered. And it could be, what am I going to do next? What can I do next? Or it could be, how can I get out of this situation? Or how can I feel better? And when you start asking yourself those questions, especially to start within a quiet space, you just start brainstorming and ideas start coming to you, and that's actually your intuition giving you ideas. It's quite amazing. And they will pop into your head, or if they don't pop into your head, they can tell you in other ways too. It could just be something that happens throughout your day. You know, maybe you'll get a phone call from someone saying, hey, what about this? Or things just tend to flow when you start opening your mind to those ideas. So tapping into your intuition is a great way to start. And it's also a good way if you're thinking about whether something is right for you or not, just asking that question, is this right for me? And just pondering on that for a while. And when you get a good excited feeling from it, then it probably is right. But if you get quite a nervous, I don't know if it'll work kind of feeling, then quite possibly it's not right for you. So that intuition is definitely there to help and guide you. But the best way to start using it is just to tap into it in a quiet space by yourself when you can really brainstorm and listen to it. Yeah.
No, and look, I mean we've only sort of covered 5 of the topics, and I mean there's a whole 30 days there, and what I guess I really liked about it, it was also really affordable for people. So whether you're a student, or you become unemployed, or you're trying to save money at the moment, it's you're not spending hundreds or thousands of dollars engaging in these different programs out there that may or may not work for you. Here's a concise, cost-effective way to bring in a few tools into your daily basis and to make an impact, I guess. Once this takes off, do you think you'll be doing more? Will it take another 10 years to produce another one? Or
it may do. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but it's definitely the starting point, and I have got lots of ideas to add to it. But yeah, we wanted to make it. I mean, it's just $5, so we wanted to make it accessible for everyone, because we all know that all those books and things that you can buy, they can cost a lot of money, and I didn't want anyone to miss out that perhaps wanted to have the tools to have a positive mindset, to miss out because it was too expensive. So we've just wanted to make it so that everyone can access it, and it is definitely a starting point. There'll be more to come and more to add to it, which is exciting. So watch this space. Yeah.
Definitely. Cool. Hey, listen, thank you very much, Rachelle, for coming on and sort of, I guess, sharing your knowledge and expertise that you've gained over the last little bit, and also giving people an opportunity out there to tap into that. I appreciate it, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more people that are going to appreciate it, given current situations, but just in terms of their general life. Is there anything that I guess people should be aware about yourself that you might be up to over the next little bit, or some particular advice that you might like to finish with?
Sure. So I think the main thing is for people to know that it's, first of all, for people to know that you're not alone when you're going through hard times, and to know that there is actually a way out of it. Definitely we have those times where we feel stuck and we just think there's no way, but there are plenty of ways, and there's some really quick, easy tools to learn. I'll leave you with another one if you like, and that's, you touched on that at the beginning, which is simply smiling. So when you smile, you actually change the whole chemical makeup of your body, you change everything about your day. And when you wake up in the morning and you get those feelings of dread about what's ahead of you, just putting a smile on your face actually can change your whole day. All of a sudden, you just feel so much better and you feel so much happier, and you start your day in a more positive way. So if you can do nothing else today but try and smile as much as you can, and smile at as many people as you can, people in your bubble for now anyway, and then more later, then that will just change your day in a big way. But moving forward, yes, we will be doing some more exciting things. We'll be doing some interviews with other key people around positive mindset as well, and adding that into the challenge and a few other bits and pieces. So it'll be good. It'll be exciting.
That's awesome. Well, listen, you've definitely left me with a smile from this conversation today. So thank you, Rachelle. And I will leave you to get on with your kids. Cheers.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mate. Nice to talk to you.